Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back with another video, and today I thought it was time to do my top 10 favorite figures of 2025 so far. I like to do a list of these halfway through the year, and then when we do the final list at the end of the year, it's kind of interesting to see what stays, what goes, and how the list changes. I think that's always a fun thing to do. So in front of you here is not the top 10. These are just all honorable mentions sort of stuff, just a collection of stuff that didn't quite make the list, but all very good. You might be a bit confused of why there's 3 Hot Toys here. I do have a rule where on my main top 10 figures list, I don't include Hot Toys figures. They just, in my opinion, are on such a level above pretty much everything else that comes out figure wise, where it's just no comparison. These are always going to be my favorite things that come out in the year, more or less. But I still wanted to talk about them real quickly, the stuff that's come out so far. The Darth Revan, absolutely incredible. I think it technically came out at the end of 2024, but I didn't get it till very early this year. But it's incredible that that figure even exists. The Lord Starkiller, I knew that was going to be a really cool figure, but I'm surprised just how good it is. It looks incredible. The sculpt and paint on the armor looks fantastic. It poses well. The new nylon fabric to simulate a leather suit, but not actually be pleather, so it will last a lot longer, is awesome. It has some pretty good accessories. Then I was really happy to be able to get the exclusive Clone Commando boss. It does look like they are slowly putting out the Delta Squad in Hot Toys form, which is super awesome. I wasn't sure if I was actually going to be able to get boss, but I was able to swing it. And if I can't get any of the other commandos, I do have this previously released Scorch. I'm hoping I can get the other two, but if I can't get any of the others, I'm kind of okay with that if that ends up being the case, because boss is my favorite of the squad, so I'm glad to have at least him, and I have Scorch as well. Then on some other stuff I've been picking up this year, like Transformers. I got a couple things there, Prima, and then the Studio Series Age of Extinction Optimus really surprised me. I was actually going to pass on that figure, but I decided to pick it up after seeing some other reviews and whatnot. And really surprising figure. That actually figure is actually really good. I did have to throw some silver paint on it to make it look a little better for me, but otherwise, really fantastic figure. And then Prima is really cool as well. However, I'm not a huge fan of the alt mode, and I wish he could angle his wrists forward without having to like disassemble the arms to do so. So he's not perfect, but still really great. I'm super happy with the Age of the Primes line so far. I'm so happy we're getting all the other Primes. I've wanted to do like a Prime lineage shelf for a long time now, so that's really great. Then a couple Marvel Legends here. Agent Venom, it's really cool. We finally got an update to Agent Venom. I know some people weren't quite so happy with this, but for me and my purposes, I'm pretty pleased with it. And then the Dark Avengers Miss Marvel. I missed out on, or Warbird. I missed out on the first Warbird. I know this isn't the exact body used for that old Warbird, or that previous Warbird. This is, I think, reuse of the Jean Grey or Phoenix mold, I think maybe. But I'm still happy, really happy to have the character, or a version of the character. I guess is a completely different character technically. And I've started a little Dark Avengers display, so I also really like that figure. I think that one is really well done. Probably one of my favorite female Marvel Legends figures. Haven't picked up. I picked up more Marvel Legends this year than I expected to, I guess, but this definitely a line I'm not trying to pick up a lot of. I didn't pick up any G.I. Joe Classified this year yet. I only have like one on pre-order. I might get the Cobra Commander that's coming out, maybe, but like honestly, I'm pretty much done with my G.I. Joe Classified. I sold a good chunk of the ones I had. I have the ones I really wanted. I'm pretty much done with them. And then we have Star Wars, I think, has had a pretty solid year so far. Some pretty good TVC releases, like the new Shin Hati and Balin Skull. Balin was super, super, super close to making the list, but I decided over another TVC thing over him. But he is like super close. I really like that new Balin. The Shin's pretty good too, but Balin is definitely a standout. There's some other releases I can't remember off the top of my head. The new Luke Skywalker from A New Hope is good. There's some others that I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but are good too. And then Black Series, I thought last year Black Series had a bit of a meh year for me. It was still a good year, but not as crazy as previous years. But I feel like they really ramped up again this year. We had some really great stuff. That new Clone Commander or Clone Captain Rex, again, just didn't quite make the list. I really like it though. I decided to keep him off the list because he is mostly repaint and reused, but the new parts and whatnot, still make him feel like a whole new figure. He's my only Phase 1 Captain Rex I actually have in my collection, which is kind of crazy. But I really love that one a lot. That's a really good one. It's a high, he's high up on the list for top 10 Black Series of the year. Same with these other ones. We've gotten Shadow of the Empire figures, which is crazy in 2025. That's nuts. A surprisingly really good figure is the Coruscant Guard disguised Luke Skywalker in the red armor. This figure is actually really great. He's a lot of newer parts I wasn't expecting him to have, and articulation's really good. It's just a really great figure. I was really surprised with this one. And even Prince Shizor, they did a really great job. His got his staff, posability's good. The sculpt and paint's incredible, especially the head sculpt with the face print looks fantastic. And they even made his ponytails articulated on swivels so you can have them in different positions, which I think is super cool as well. Just a lot of really, really great figures from Black Series. It's been a really great year. It's going to be a cool top 10 to do at the end of the year. But I've rambled on long enough about figures that aren't in the top 10, so let's get down to the actual top 10. All right, number 10, we have our TBC entry, which may be a little surprising, but it is the Heir to the Empire Hasbro Pulse exclusive 3-pack. For me, these are just some incredible characters, 2 of which have gotten their very first figures in 3 3/4 inch ever in Star Wars figures. One, his very first articulated figure at all, being Captain Pelion. The very first Captain Pelion is very exciting that he got made, as well as Joris getting his own 3 3/4 inch figure. He did get the Black Series figure last year, but to get a TBC figure too, I think is really great. And then having an updated, modern Legends inspired Thrawn is super dope as well. Just a really solid set all around. It is number 10 because there isn't a ton of new. Joris is all new, but then Thrawn and Pelion are a lot of reuse with some minor new parts. But these are some really deep cut characters from and some really great characters that I think a lot of us have been wanting for a very long time. It's nice to finally have a Thrawn with a Pelion to go with them on the shelf, and to add a Joris to my Darksiders is super dope. So that's pretty much why they beat out Baylan. I would say Baylan's probably an objectively better figure than at least Thrawn and Pelion. You can make an argument for Joris, but otherwise, yeah, still really solid set though. They are number 10. At number 9 is a bit of a controversial figure within the figure collecting community. Some people love this figure, some people hate this figure. It is the Marvel Legends Maximum Series Spider-Man. I was on the fence with this figure. I had it pre-ordered. I ended up canceling the pre-order, and then not long after, once it came out, I ended up just ordering it. And I don't regret it. You know, is it too expensive? Yeah, it's too expensive. Are there accessories that come with this that I'll never use? Yup. But I've also been looking for a definitive red and blue Spider-Man for my collection Spider-Man shelf for a while. I've had the Pizza Spider-Man for that role for years now, which is fine. It's still a fine figure, but I've needed a modern upgrade. I never end up getting the Renew Your Vows one, and it's kind of too late now. It's kind of a pricey figure. So this one fits the bill really well. It looks great. I really do like the McFarlane look. It comes with a ton of accessories. I love the stuff like the hands with the web flipping effects coming out of them. He's got webs they can hold on to, a bunch of hand options, a couple of head options. I really like the effect you can put on his head for his spider sense. Great articulation. I got lucky with mine. It's got pretty decent QC for the most part. It looks pretty good. But yeah, I'm just super happy to finally have, for now, my definitive Spider-Man for my Spider-Man shelf. I really do like this one a lot, despite its pricing. So at number 8, I'm actually not entirely sure if this figure came out in 2025. The box says 2024, but when I look up videos for it on YouTube, I don't see anything older than early 2025. So I'm going to count this as a 2025 release. It might not be though. If it is, let me know. I won't put it on the list. But it is the Blockies Action Edition model kit of G1 Megatron. Blockies has really impressed me. They're a company that does mainly model kits, and they've been doing a lot of Transformers stuff. I've actually decided to go full just Blockies for my Transformers 1 collection. I haven't been buying the Studio Series figures. I've just been going with Blockies because even though they don't transform, they are really good looking model kits, especially for the price. And the Action Edition seems to be their higher end price points for model kits. They're kind of master grade, I guess, is maybe the best comparison I can give. And even then, they're pretty reasonably priced, and this thing really impressed me. It looks great. It has great articulation. It has light up features for the eyes and the chest. It comes with a ton of stuff. You have his fusion cannon. He has technically 3 separate characters with him. He comes with a laser beak. He comes with, it's on the little arm rest here. He comes with a reflector in his camera mode. You also get a little figure of Kremzeek. You get his Energon mace. You get his Energon saber. You get the pistol from the G1 movie. You get some other stuff, I'm pretty sure. Oh, and then obviously, of course, you get the throne of Nemesis. You get a whole ass throne with this as well. And it was under like $70 Canadian when I bought it. That's a lot of value here. No die cast or anything, but it doesn't really matter. This thing is really, really impressive. I actually have the new Soundwave kit, which is the same line as this, or pretty much. I think they're calling it Legendary Edition, but it's like the same scale and styling. I just ordered that. Hopefully that comes in soonish. That looks really good. It looks even better than this one, so I'm really excited for that one. That might take the place of Megatron. But for now, Megatron's here. This is honestly probably one of the coolest G1 Megatrons I have in my entire collection. It's just super well done. And at number 7, we have a Black Series entry. It is the Star Wars Celebration Japan exclusive / Hasbro Pulse exclusive / Amazon exclusive of the Ronin from Star Wars Visions, the Duel episode, and any other supporting materials that have come out for that since. Yeah, I ended up picking this up. I was like a little on the fence for it because it is pretty expensive. Some of that pricing is warranted, I guess. The box it comes in is very nice. But this is a really cool Black Series figure. It's trying some new things. It does a lot of stuff well. You know, it's very unique to have like the black or the, black and white, or like the gray and different shades of grays instead of more realistic colors to match the animation from that episode for both these figures, which I think is super cool. The articulation's really great on the Ronin. He's got his lightsaber, and it does actually store into the sheath he has on the on his belt there, which is super cool. Articulation's really great. There's some kind of interesting things going on with articulation, like ball joints at the forearms there, and some stuff like that. And then the biggest, coolest thing with this figure is that it utilizes a soft goods wired cloak, which we have not seen in the Black Series yet. It might be the first Hasbro figure to use wires in the cloak. I could be wrong about that, but that's the main drawing point for this guy for sure. And they're quite sturdy wires. I think they did a really good job with this. You can make them look quite dynamic, especially with the posability given here. That is super, super dope. The droid is cool too. He's nice and unique with his little hat. It comes with a decent amount of accessories and whatnot, but he's definitely not the main reason why I got this. This is higher on the list though because it's not my favorite Black Series figure to come out yet this year. And also I don't have a huge attachment to the Ronin as a character. I've only watched the Duel. I know that there's like a manga and a novel or something. I haven't read those. But I do really like that episode. It's one of my favorites from Visions. And this is a really cool and unique set from Black Series. So I really do like this and definitely deserves to be on the list. And at number 6, representing one of my new plastic editions, it is the Joy Toy Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 Lieutenant Titus and the whole squad basically from the game. I really like the game, but also I've really gotten into Warhammer these past over half a year now. From playing the game, reading some of the books, listening to some of the audiobooks, just doing some reading and that sort of stuff. I've really come to really enjoy this franchise. And most of the figures I picked up this year from Joy Toy have been from like last year, so they can't be on the list. Otherwise, this list could easily be all Joy Toy figures. I absolutely love this line. Joy Toy kills it with these figures 90% of the time. And these guys are no exception. They're using a brand new 4.0 Space Marine body, which I really love a lot. It's really well proportioned, sculpted and painted really well. They look great, articulate really nicely. They come with a lot of accessories. You get a bunch of weapon options. You get helmeted and unhelmeted options. They also come with a backpack and armor, leg armor swapping options to give them the assault, the jump pack, and the assault configuration, which is super cool as well. Not without their flaws. The helmets actually do support LED light up feature, but don't actually come with the LEDs, which is a bit unfortunate, although don't care so much because they're pretty gimmicky. It's not going to keep them on 24/7. They also, even though this is a new body mold, they reused old weapons they had from previous figures, and this 4.0 body is actually bigger than previous Space Marine bodies. So the weapons are a little undersized. It doesn't bother me so much for the bolters and the pistol. It's mostly noticeable with the chainsword though, which is a bit unfortunate. Um, there is new weathered versions coming out that have updated at least chainsword. I don't know if they updated all the guns, but they updated the chainsword. It's a bit scummy to be honest, but that doesn't bother me that much. Still doesn't look terrible. Yeah, these figures are really great, and the Ultramarines are one of my favorite legions slash chapters. So these were must-haves, and I'm just counting all three. I mean, if I had to pick absolute one, it'd be Titus, but I'm counting all three because they're all pretty similar figures. And now getting to the top five is my current favorite Black Series figure of the year. It is the Deluxe Sauvage Opress. I've wanted Hasbro to do this figure for a long time. I thought it would be a perfect character to do as a deluxe, and I feel like I was right. They did a really good job here. This is one deluxe I feel like was a few deluxes have been feel like worth the price point lately, but this one definitely. He's large. He's quite much a bit taller than a standard Black Series figure and bigger. Great paint apps with a lot of weathering on the armor. A lot of paint apps going on. Articulation's great. I really like the conversion from animation to realism. I think worked really well here. The head sculpt looks really nice. Even accessories are pretty decent. He has a double-bladed lightsaber, and he also has his battle axe or his spear. They're both painted, which is nice. The only thing I could complain about in terms of the accessories that he comes with is that I wish they used silver paint for the majority of his hilt, because the black gray doesn't look that great. But aside from that, it's a really great figure. Only thing I could possibly complain about really is that more accessories would have been cool, mainly swappable arm and head to have his later appearances in later episodes of the series. I'm sure they're just going to do another version somewhere down the road. But for now, I am pretty content with this version of Sauvage. It's a really great figure. I'm super happy to have a new Sauvage Opress and one in the Black Series. They really killed it here. So at number 4 is a McFarlane Toys product, and it is McFarlane's second Kickstarter campaign, the Kickstarter Medieval Spawn. This went up for backing, I think in September, October of last year, but it didn't ship out for the majority of people until this year. And incredible set of figures. I decided to opt for the standard 3-pack. Fairly pricey, definitely one of the downsides, quite pricey, although you can see a lot of the value here. The figures are really well done. They're some of the best looking figures in my collection, not counting like Hot Toys, I guess, but outside from that, they're beautifully sculpted and painted, especially for articulated figures, of which the articulation is decent. I'd say it's definitely better than the first Kickstarter Spawn, and definitely on par with a fair amount of their mainline releases. It's not like crazy insane articulation, but you can definitely get a good decent amount of posing out of them. Yeah, like look fantastic. Tons of accessories. You get tons of options. There's like 5 or 6 different ways you can display with different heads, and with different ways you can display the helmets and whatnot. A couple of different like clasps for the cape. I think 3 chest armor options. 2 sets of optional gauntlets that are attached via magnet, which I think are pretty cool. You know, swords, axes. There's a ball and chain with a real metal chain. A couple different shields. Yeah, just super incredible set of figures. Not without their problems. I think there's some accessories they should have included with like some necroplasm effects. They could have came with a few more hand options. There's small little QC things. I never had any major QC issues with mine, luckily, but there's still some little QC things that are just annoying enough where it keeps it, I don't know, it's noteworthy. But I think overall it's some of McFarlane Toys' best work, to be honest. These are really great. I'm having trouble fitting all the figures in behind, but at our final 3 figures, at number 3, we do have the Joy Toy Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, Sanguinius, the Primarch of the Blood Angels Legion of Space Marines. What a fantastic figure. It is definitely my second favorite of all the Primarch figures they released so far, of which I have all of them except for Alfarius. I haven't got him yet. Yeah, just a beautiful figure, beautifully sculpted and painted, looks really great, well articulated. Comes with a bunch of accessories. You get, luckily, a flight stand for him that can handle all the weight, which is great because he's got these massive angelic wings that are articulated and look really great. And he does a decent amount. He decently balances with all that weight on the back, although he is back heavy. It can be difficult getting him into poses without that flight stand, but luckily they do include it. Has hand options. He comes with a bunch of weapons. You got the massive spear. He's got his pistol, which you can holster onto the side there. 2 swords, one of which you can store in the sheath there on the other side of his waist, which is great. Yeah, just an absolutely fantastic, majestic figure to lead your Blood Angels and have in your Warhammer Joy Toy collection. I thought he would be a little higher. I thought he'd make me number 2 on the list, but there is one figure that I did decide that beat him out. But Sanguinius is absolutely incredible and definitely one of my favorites of the year. And at number 2, I decided I had to go to the Age of the Primes Megatronis. I think this is the first Age of the Primes figures I got a hold of, and it started off hella strong. This figure is incredible in my opinion. This has got to be one of the best leader classes in a while, at least for me. You know, it's always a debate, I feel like, when getting a new leader class, whether it's really worth that leader class price point. But here I have there's no argument for me that this is worth the leader class price point. He's decently big and bulky and hefty. He has some nice paint apps. He is beautifully sculpted. He is really well articulated. You can get full kneeling poses. He has opening hands, that sort of thing. Even a bit of butterfly motion in around the shoulder too, I do believe. Just absolutely fantastic. Transformation is pretty interesting without being too complicated or annoying. The tank mode is pretty solid and good for the most part, although that's probably the weakest part about the figure, but it's still pretty decent. And then he comes with a ton of accessories, honestly. It's already a big figure, and they loaded him up. He's got the Requiem blaster that mounts on the forearm, or you can put on the back if you want. He's got his staff and his sword, and you can combine the two to make an even larger weapon. He's got the little shoulder-mounted missile pod. You can take the barrel of the tank mode cannon and mount it on his back as a kind of a shoulder-mounted cannon, or you can put it on the Requiem blaster for make the gun even larger. And you get 4 flame effects, 2 large ones for the shoulders and 2 that go on the back. It's just a ton of stuff, and I feel like you really get a lot of value here, which is, I think, honestly, a pretty rare thing to find with leader class Transformers in this day and age. So this was a nice kind of breath of fresh air on that front, and I absolutely love this figure. I've had it since March, and it has not left my desk. It's going, after this video, I think it's finally going to go on the shelf with the rest of the primes that I have so far. But for a figure to stay on my shelf or my desk for that long is, yeah, that has to mean he's taken a super high spot on my list. So yeah, number 2 for me. And at number 1 for now, I gotta give it to 3-Zero's DLX Nemesis Prime from the last night. I know this isn't people's favorite version of Nemesis Prime or Optimus Prime, whatever. I get it. But I absolutely love 3-Zero's Transformers DLX offerings. They're some of my favorite figures to collect. They are so good. I think they're so good and definitely worth the price you pay for them. And I've wanted to have a version of Optimus that represents each kind of major design or redesign throughout his live action appearances. So I have Revenge of the Fallen for the first 3 Bay movies. I now have Nemesis Prime for the night look for the last 2 Bay movies, and then I have the Rise of the Beast Optimus for kind of the Bumblebee Rise of the Beast sort of era of design for Optimus in live action. But this guy's awesome. He articulates really well, beautifully painted and sculpted like every DLX figure. A bunch of accessories. The light up eyes are super cool. The purple eyes look great. He's got his normal face, his battle mask option. You get the shield that's in the gun configuration, which is cool that that's different from the last night, just the normal Optimus Prime. He comes with the handheld ion blaster, which was a selling point for me because rarely any official figure includes that accessory with them for some reason. So it's super dope that 3-Zero included with them. The Sword of Judgment's awesome as always. Just an absolutely beautiful piece. And for now is my number 1 of the year. But that is pretty much it for now. Overall, a really solid year for figures, of course, like it usually is. We still got a lot of great stuff to come, so the list is more than likely going to change. But we'll see how that pans out when the end of the year comes around. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I have rambled on for long enough. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what some of your guys' favorite figures of the year have been so far. And I'll see you all in the next one. May the Force be with you.